When we talked about quantification in the last episode, we already touched upon certification bodies, which, contrary to the common belief, aren't fully independent entities. In this episode, we dig a bit deeper. Instead of simply listing a bunch of actors active in the space, which you could easily compile by asking any chatbot, I want to give you my perspective on how this ecosystem actually works. Spoiler alert, it will be a bit political, although any discussion about sustainability inevitably is. The entire premise of a functioning carbon market is based on a third-party oversight. This is necessary because you are essentially selling the right to emit a certain amount of greenhouse gases expressed in tons of CO2, which is not easy to quantify or verify. This creates a market in which both sides initially benefit from inflating that number. Startups because they need more revenue, and buyers because they want to offset as much of their emissions as possible. To prevent these perverse incentives from running unchecked, some form of control is required. And this control is typically handled by the intermediaries. Some intermediaries focus on the trade itself, ensuring that the same ton is not sold to more than one buyer. They can act as brokers or even buy tons and resell them. Some help in the early stages with certification, and majority focuses on quality control. The easiest way is to just refer to them as services, especially since their roles are constantly evolving. But for a startup entering this space, it may all seem a bit overwhelming. So let's see where the major intermediaries sit today. This overview is by no means exhaustive. In fact, there are currently around 294 services active in the carbon dioxide removal space, according to CDR-FYI, the main platform tracking markets activity. While some of these roles can be performed by separate entities, there is often an overlap. For instance, Isometric can handle both certification and retirement, effectively acting as a registry. Puro Earth has evolved even further. It started by supporting project development and visibility, then expanded into methodology development and certification. And today, it operates the largest registry in the carbon dioxide removal market. While some players are considered more independent than others, true independence is difficult to achieve. In many cases, executives who once represented some of the largest and most catalytic buyers are now leading influential certification initiatives. Understanding the dynamics in this ecosystem is an important part of your go-to-market strategy. And the certification is that first daunting step that can be a long and painful process. Many suppliers I talked to report it as a major bottleneck, and there is often uncertainty about buyer behavior. Founders told me that sometimes they're not even sure if buyers are asking for certification because they genuinely value that third-party validation, or it is sometimes a way to delay decisions and just negotiate lower prices. I believe that this is where more transparency would be valuable, such as understanding the average certification timeline, along with the full range of variation across projects. Surprisingly, I haven't come across a resource that quantifies this. Until a more rigorous analysis is produced, this back-of-the-envelope estimate based on publicly available information can provide a rough benchmark. These typically evolve in parallel and together make up the pre-certification phase. With spot trade, these would still need to be formally audited before the credits are issued, which can add further time to the full certification process. The truth is that most marketplaces are buyer-facing, and although starting to think about market exposure early is a good idea, they might not always be the best place to start. If you are in pre-certification phase or haven't even kickstarted it, Carbon Future and Puro Earth may be good entry players for you to consider reaching out to in this phase. Despite the broad range of intermediaries that navigate this process, it is early buyers who still play a critical role here. They are often at the forefront of certification, using lessons from their early purchases to influence how the market evolves. Some even step into intermediary roles more explicitly than the others. In the next episode, we will break down different buyer strategies in shaping this market with concrete examples from the industry.